السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله وكفى، سلام على عباده الذين اصطفى. أما بعد، فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والسابقون الأولون من المهاجرين والأنصار والذين اتبعوهم بإحسان رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: خير الناس قرني ثم الذين يلونهم ثم الذين يلونهم. وقال في مقام آخر: لو أن أحدكم أنفق مثل أحد ذهبا ما أدرك مد أحدهم ولا نصيفه. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون، وسلام على المرسلين، والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. Inshallah Aziz, we are going to be recording talks on the Sahaba, which is going to be known as the Sahaba series. Before we come to each and every Sahabi, mentioning the detail of the Sahabi, what the name was, what was their background, when did they bring Islam, what was their value and virtue in Islam, what were the achievements and accomplishments of them in Islam. We will first look at the value and the virtue of the Sahaba, who the Sahaba are, what is the definition of a Sahabi, what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say regarding the Sahaba in the Holy Quran, what has been mentioned regarding the Sahaba in the Ahadith, and what is our Aqidah regarding the Sahaba. So I will begin with the definition of the Sahaba. A Sahabi, the meaning of the Sahabi is a companion, and the technical meaning of a Sahabi is that person who saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with his eyes in the state of Iman, and he left this dunya in the state of Iman, or he was fortunate enough to be in the gathering of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam whilst being a believer and left this dunya in a state of Iman. These are the people that are known as the Sahaba. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say regarding the Sahaba in the Holy Quran? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Holy Quran, لَقَدْ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that وَالسَّابِقُونَ الْأَوَّلُونَ مِنَ الْمُهَاجِرِينَ وَالْأَنصَارِ وَالَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوهُم بِإِحْسَانٍ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ. رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ. They are those with whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased, وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ, and they are pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, أولئك الذين امتحن الله قلوبهم للتقوى لهم مغفرة وأجر عظيم. They are those people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested with regards to their taqwa. What is the level of their taqwa? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested them, they passed this test. And then after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, لهم مغفرة وأجر عظيم. For them is maghfirah, for them is forgiveness, and for them is great reward. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us in the Holy Quran, Aminu kama amana nas. Bring Iman as the Sahaba have brought Iman. Our Iman is going to be weighed by the Iman of the Sahaba. it is going to be weighed according to the iman of the Sahaba. From this we understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted the Sahaba a very high status, a very high level. That is why scholars have also mentioned فهم خير الناس علما وعملا وتصديقا وصحبة لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وجهادا في سبيل الله والدعوة إلى دين الله. They are the best of people when it comes to knowledge. They are the best people when it comes to actions, amal. They are the best people in terms of their sincerity in affirming the truthfulness of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in authenticating the truthfulness of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were the best people in terms of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were the best people in terms of sacrificing their wealth, their physical being, their families for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They were the best people when it came to conveying the message of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the entire humanity. From this we understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had really given them a very high status and they were of a very high caliber. In one of the hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned, خير الناس قرني ثم الذين يلونهم ثم الذين يلونهم. The best of people are those that are of my time, meaning the Sahaba. ثم الذين يلونهم. After that, after them is those, meaning who are going to follow the Sahaba, the Tabi'un. And after them are going to be those that are going to follow the Tabi'un, meaning the Tab'ut Tabi'un. In one of the hadith, Rasulullah ﷺ has mentioned, إن الله نظر في قلوب العباد فوجد قلب محمد خير قلوب العباد فاصطفاه لنفسه ثم نظر في قلوب العباد فوجد قلوب أصحابه خير قلوب العباد فجعلهم وزراء نبيه. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looked into the hearts of the mankind and he found the heart of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam the best of hearts. فاصطفاه لنفسه. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for himself. ثم نظر في قلوب العباد. And then again Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala casted his gaze on the hearts of the creation, on the hearts of the humanity. فوجد قلوب أصحابه. He found the hearts of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the best of hearts. فَجَعَلَهُمْ وَزَرَاءَ نَبِيِّهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them the ministers of his Nabi. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentions in one of the hadith, Ayatul Imani Hubbul Ansar, that the sign, the alamat of a person's iman is that he has love for the Ansar. Wa ayatul nifaq bughdul Ansar. And the alamat, the sign of hypocrisy, is that he has hate for the Ansar. The Sahaba were those people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We can well imagine if we have to sit down and ponder onto what the Sahaba went through. When it was the Meccan period, the Sahaba faced a lot of difficulty, a lot of zulm and oppression. Hazrat Bilal radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu would be dragged on the sands of Makkatul Mukarramah, hot sand of Makkatul Mukarramah. A big stone would be placed on his chest whilst he would be lying on the sand, and he would just be saying Ahad, Ahad. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would pass from the family of Ammar ibn Yasir radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Ammar, his mother was Sumayya and the father was Yasir. They would be tortured. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam could not do anything for them. Only that when he would pass from there, he would just say, Sabran ya ala Yasir, that exercise patience, observe patience, O the children of Yasir. Sumayya radiallahu ta'ala anha was the first woman in Islam, in fact the first person in Islam who was martyred for the sake of Islam because of her iman. Hazrat Zubair ibn al-Awwam radiallahu ta'ala anhu was only 12 years old. One of his uncles would roll him in a sack or would roll him in a mat, a straw mat. And after rolling him, he would light the mat with a matchstick so that the, the smoke of the mat can go into the nose and into the mouth of Hazrat Zubair ibn al-Awwam radiallahu ta'ala anhu. There is so much of difficulty that they went through. And they made sabr. They made, they observed patience. So much of sacrifice. When a time came when the Sahaba had to migrate from Makkah to Mukarramah to Madinah to Munawwara, they left everything. They left their parents, they left their children, they left their families, they left their wealth, they left their properties, they left everything that they owned for the sake of Islam. When they came to Madinah to Munawwara, they were embraced by the Ansar. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam bonded brotherhood ties between the Ansar and the Muhajirin. Such examples that they presented, that never in history such examples would ever exist. Hazrat Abdurrahman ibn Auf radiallahu anhu was a Muhajir Sahabi. His brother, he was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam bonded him with Hazrat uh, Sa'd ibn Rabi radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Sa'd ibn Rabi radiallahu ta'ala anhu said to Hazrat Abdurrahman ibn Auf radiallahu ta'ala anhu, I have a lot of wealth. Sa'aqsimu mali nisfayn. I will divide my wealth into two parts, which is going to, half of it is going to be yours and mine, and half of it is going to be mine. Waliya imra'atan, I have got two wives. You can come and see any one of them. Whoever you are going to like, I am going to divorce her and you can get married to her. These were the Sahaba that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What is our aqidah regarding the Sahaba? The aqidah and belief regarding the Sahaba is that they are the best of people after the Anbiya alayhim salatu wassalam. And they are of the highest level after Anbiya alayhim salatu wassalam. It is the demand of our iman to love the Sahaba. For the sake of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, man ahabbahum fabihubbi ahabbahum. Whoever loves them, it is because that he has love for me. And we should not hate the Sahaba. This is the demand of our iman. وَمَنْ أَبْغَضَهُمْ فَبِبُغْضِ أَبْغَضَهُمْ. Whoever hates them, it is because he hates me. So this is our aqidah regarding the Sahaba. We cannot hate the Sahaba. We have to love the Sahaba. It is part of our iman. Rather, it is the demand of our iman that we should love the Sahaba. I will finish off this small recording with one dream of a mujahid who maybe lived in our times. On one occasion, after getting tired of the punishments, of the torture, the atrocities, the mazalim, and the oppression of the kuffar, he was seated and he was thinking to himself that the amount of difficulty, the amount of oppression that we have faced in our time, it is far much more than the atrocities, than the mazalim and the oppression that the Sahaba faced. Meaning he was just trying to compare the madhalim and the oppressions that they have gone through in this day and age in comparison to the atrocities, the madhalim and the oppression that the Sahaba went through. He says, I was asleep. I went to sleep after that. When I was asleep, I felt that I was seated in a small bucky which is rolling on the train track, and it is moving very fast. It doesn't have any brakes and it cannot be controlled. In this bucky, I was sitting behind with another Sahabi of Rasulullah. In front, there were two Sahabas. One Sahabi, meaning Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and Rasulullah. He says this bucky kept on moving faster and faster. There was a need to stop it. I kept on thinking to myself, how can I stop this? There is a need. If anything comes in front, an accident, there is a possibility of an accident to take place. And Rasulullah and the two companions that are sitting in this bucky might get hurt. So he says, I jumped out of that bucky looking for a stone, for a log, so that I can bring it, put it in front so that the bucky can stop. He says, by the time I got hold of a stone or a log, when I came to the bucky, I found Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu sleeping in front of that bucky by the tires. He slept there and he made the bucky stop. From this he says that I realized that no matter what I can say with regards to the oppression, but when it comes to the status and the level and the maqam that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted the Sahaba is far much more. They presented their lives. He was shown in his dream that a Sahabi is sleeping in front of the bucky and he stopped the entire bucky from moving. This is what the Sahabas are. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the tawfiq to bring the love of the Sahaba into our hearts. And may He grant us the tawfiq of following the footsteps of the Sahaba, bringing each of their qualities into our life, reviving them, inculcating them, instilling them, bringing those qualities into our children, bringing those qualities into the afrad, the individuals of the ummah. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.